Welcome back to another holiday edition of Ottawa Senators panel, Post Media, with Don Brennan, Bruce Garriock. I'm Ken Warren. This is our New Year's Eve edition, special edition, where we're going to look back at 2018 and our best memories. Don, hold on, I know you have a lot. And bold predictions for the new year. So, Don, what stands out in your mind about 2018 with the Senators?
Now, we're doing this just hours before we go out and bring in the new year, correct?
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, you guys are going to drink way too much tonight. My favorite memory, well, you know what? There's been so many bad memories with this hockey team in the year of 2018. And I have got a short memory. I'm going to just go. My favorite memory would be the Bobby Ryan, Kyle Turris fight on December the 18th, I believe 17th, it was. 17th at Canadian Tire Center. Kyle Turris, gutless as he was, hacking away at Bobby Ryan's fingers. Bobby Ryan, enough was enough, and punched his little lights out. That was a favorite memory of mine, and we all know that there's more to it than the fact that Kyle Turris was gutless.
Positive memories of 2018. You always bring in the best of the spirit.
Bruce, let's go. Bruce, your last video was about Ben Harper fighting. I don't really have any fighting memories from 2018. But I will say that this is for selfish reasons. I was quite happy on July 6th or 7th, I can't remember what the date was, when Erik Karlsson didn't get traded because I was going to Alaska for a week and I had to turn off my phone. And I was quite happy that he didn't get dealt. And I was kind of felt at that point that if he didn't get moved then, he wasn't going at all in the summer. So, you know, a little bit selfish reasons, but, you know, I'm glad that trade waited a little bit.
I didn't enjoy the silence of the summer. That you know, it was the silence of the Lamb and the silence of whatever.
Yeah.
It dragged on and on. They waited too long to make a decision. We knew he was going to get traded. They didn't. But you know, being New Year's Eve, being positive, talking about, you know what? We've talked a lot in this show about Colin White and about Brady Tkachuk and the kids. Max Lajoie, in his NHL debut, 6 minutes into the game, scores a goal. I mean, who was this guy? And comes in, and all of a sudden, he's an NHL player. So, you know, that to me was sort of one of those things. It's like, how can NHL careers start better than that? And I thought it was just a bright light in what had to, you know, in 2018, a terrible 2018 until the new season started. So that,
well,
that
but to follow up on that, Drake Batherson basically did the same thing with his parents in the stand.
Yep.
You know, and his dad's hockey history, and being his uncle Dennis Fial being one of Don's favorite players because he was one of the toughest guys who ever put on this uniform. You have to like.
Can you describe one of his fights?
Drake Batherson.
One of his fights. No, but I remember him firing the puck over the boards of John Mockler. I wasn't there, but that was Dennis Fial, correct?
Yes, it was, and also the time he went into Buffalo and said every time he went into Buffalo it turned into a bloodbath, and Jacques Martin gave him hell for that. And then he came out of the dressing room and said to me, he said, "Bruce, I didn't say it was I didn't say it was a bloodbath. I said it was a bubble bath."
So we talked about last year. We're gonna, you know, maybe move on some bold predictions for the year to come, being New Year's Eve. Don, what do you see? Something, you know, maybe I don't know. It doesn't necessarily have to be out of the blue, but something that you would expect that might catch people off guard.
I'm not going to mention anything about ownership and my bold prediction of that Melnyk will finally sell this team. I'm not going to mention that. My bold prediction, I just mentioned it. Do you get what I did there? My bold prediction is that Thomas Chabot, as we speak, with 10 goals, scoring his 10th goal against Nashville, I believe that he is going to win the Norris Trophy this year. I believe Thomas Chabot is the best defenseman in the NHL this year. He's definitely the best offensive defenseman in the NHL, and he's getting better defensively as we go on. I think Thomas Chabot is going to score between 20 and 25 goals, could hit 25, and he's going to be an 80-point defenseman. Erik Karlsson is going to be forgotten, long and forgotten, and Thomas Chabot is going to win the Norris Trophy, probably the first of many.
Gone but not forgotten, right, Don?
Right.
Look, I look at it this way. I have to make a bold prediction. My bold prediction is that I don't know how this is going to happen, and you can't, well, I guess I can be held to it. They're going to somehow get this arena settled downtown. I don't know how. I don't know why. I'm saying it. But I do think that somehow Gary Bettman will work with Eugene Melnyk and the ownership group and maybe find a partner to help build that rink downtown. And you know what? Politics, who knows? Anything can happen in politics, right? So I'm going to say in mid-January, they'll find a resolution to the rink downtown. I do think Don has a better shot at his prediction.
I think, we should have had that under the Christmas wish in our last episode for fans, that this mess of LeBreton Flats will get resolved, and then you can move on, and maybe there's some promise about the future of this and stability of the franchise. My bold prediction, I'm February 25th, I think Pierre Dorion, there's always a lot of hype about the trade deadline. I think this is a year that Senators fans should not leave their TV, be well aware. I think he's being incredibly active. Maybe not on February 25th necessarily, but in the lead up to it, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of activity with the Ottawa Senators, and we're going to see a new direction here one way or another.
So what you're saying is that they're going to be going after some rentals because they're going to make that push for the playoffs in the Stanley Cup? Is that what you're saying?
That would be a very bold prediction. Yeah. It's not going to happen. So a busy schedule for the Senators to start the new year. Columbus to kick it off on New Year's Eve, and then an extended homestand before going out to California. They have home games against Vancouver, Minnesota, Carolina, and in there is also a skills competition. We can discuss who might and might not show off in that episode when in front of the fans and showing off their speed and their shot. I mean, Don, you have a thought about who might, with maybe it's something for the kids to watch, the relative kids.
Well, I think that there should be a lot of people out for the skills competition because it's always fun. It's interesting. I have different thoughts about the Vancouver, Minnesota, Carolina homestand. If the Senators aren't in it, who is going to want to go watch any of those teams? There's not a lot of appeal to that group right there. But yeah, the skills competition. Well, Thomas Chabot's going to be fun to watch. He let go of a Blazer in Detroit there a couple of weeks ago, depending on when you're watching this. And Ryan Dzingel, speed, right? Alex Formenton. Oh no, he's gone. Who else is on this team? No, Brady Tkachuk. Brady Tkachuk can't win anything in the skills competition. He's just a really good all-round player.
If there's a competition for running as fast as you can into the crease and knocking over the
Brady Tkachuk's my guy.
If there was a competition for pass, he'd win right away.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think Dzingel's got to be the fastest skater, right? And does Ben Harper have a hard shot? You don't see it very often, so you don't know. But you think a guy his size would have the ability to shoot the puck pretty hard.
I think it's just intriguing because these kids' talents come out. The younger and younger the players come in, the more skills they have. And in an episode like this, where you're allowed to we're allowed to showcase your skills without necessarily checking or whatever, you get to see the real skill level of these guys.
You know who has a hard shot that nobody gives enough credit to, and because he doesn't use it enough, but is Cody Ceci. All you people out there that love to bash Cody Ceci, you misguided souls. He's got a really good hard shot, and it would be nice to see him being able to use it a little bit more.
No, I think it'll be a good night, and I think that if you look at some of the young talent on this team, maybe there'll be some new winners in these categories.
Yeah, and you know what? The way the Senators have played in the first stretch of the season at home, maybe just to get back to that homestand, if they continue to win at home and they can discover something on the road, maybe, just maybe, they have an opportunity to stay in the race longer than many would have expected.
You can't even say it, eh?
I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
No, but you're leading us that way. It sounds like you're about to say it and you don't say it. It's a New Year's Eve episode.
Eh? People have thoughts and dreams of what might happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Just say they're going to make the playoffs.
They're not.
Just say it, though.
You believe it. Hope,
you guys believe that they're going to make the playoffs, so you guys just make the prediction. For God's sake, say it.
Well, there you have it. Our not so bold prediction that they're not going to make the playoffs, but they might stay in it a little bit longer than a lot of people would have counted.
And we won't sing Auld Lang Syne.
Thanks very much for tuning in.